Episode 131. Ouch. Now, I decided to take up a new sport called quiet tennis. Yeah, it's a lot like regular tennis, but only without the racket. Hello, welcome to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki G. I'm here to entertain and delight your ear holes with all things off-road for the next 10 minutes or so. Why 10 minutes? Because that's about how long until the pain medication kicks in. Alright, before we kick off the show, we gotta do the traditional legal mumbo jumbo that I don't have to do because I have enslaved AI interns. Alright, take it away, enslaved AI interns.
You're listening to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast, the podcast for the off-roader with a short attention span.
Got something to say? We would love to hear from you. Just contact the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast at 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. That's 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on our YouTube channel.
You can listen to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on whatever the hell you're listening to it on now, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Odyssey, Podbean, Pocket Cast, Podchaser, and iHeartRadio, or through our website, 10minuteoffroad.com.
You can follow the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but never TikTok.
Thank you very much, enslaved AI interns. You're worth every penny. Alright, so welcome to today's show. I'd like to start off by saying that my foot is still broke. Had surgery on it last week, and my foot is in a big-ass cast. I've been sitting on the couch for a couple of weeks, heavily medicated, so everything's kind of a blur. Had a few conversations with some friends that I'm probably going to hear a lot about. But anyhow, foot's healing. I go next week to get the cast taken off and looked at and decide if the cast goes back on or if I just go to a brace. Looking forward to getting this thing off my foot, even if it is for just an hour or two. I don't know if any of you guys had a cast on before, but this is my first time having a cast, and it is the most uncomfortable thing in the world. That being said, I cracked up my Jeep last time, right before I cracked up my leg, and worked on my Jeep a little bit. It's kind of hard to do on one foot and hobbling around, so I still don't have it put back together again, but then again, I can't really drive, so I'm in no rush. Moving right along, Thanksgiving just passed, and the holiday season is coming on. Christmas season's coming up, and I usually do a Christmas list, get and don't get stuff, and I'm just going to say, if you have an off-roader in your life, and if you're listening to this show and you're not into off-roading, then why? Because I'm into off-roading, and I don't even want to listen to this show. But anyhow, if you're looking for gift ideas for off-roader or just any man in general, fire extinguisher for our vehicles, always good. Rotate those out. I'd say first aid kit, but a lot of us are picky about our first aid kits. We like to build them ourselves. Pocket knives are always a good one for us. Anything that can inflict harm on us, saws, drills, anything like that. But pocket knife is always a good go-to. If you don't know what to get somebody, just get them a pocket knife or a multi-tool. All right, so before I cracked up my Jeep and cracked up my ankle, I went up to the Jefferson National Forest, which is getting to be my favorite national forest. Fiska's always, or Pisca, however you want to say it. It's close to home and it's always in my heart. And same with Uwharrie, but Uwharrie is starting to get overrun with people. And Uwharrie is the smallest national forest, so it doesn't take long before it gets filled up. Although there's more to Uwharrie than just the OHV trails. I need to spread out a little bit more and do a little bit of... I did do a little bit of exploring a few years ago in Uwharrie, but I need to go back up there and look for some stuff some more. When I am able to body. Right now, hobbling around on a trail in crutches is not a good idea. But back on track, went to the Jefferson National Forest and had a good time. Went down some roads I didn't go down before, didn't know existed, and they were a pleasure. So the first road I went down was Forest Service Road 57, Hale Lake Road. The road's I'd say about 14 miles long, although I only went down about 8 miles of it. Forest Road 57 has access to Comer's Rock, Hale Lake, Blue Spring Cabin, Comer's Rock Trail, and Little Dry Run Trail. And those two are hiking trails, so don't look for me to be on those anytime soon. So about a fourth of the way down Forest Road 57, I came to Comer's Rock Campground, which is a primitive campground. So I think there's 6 or 7 campsites. They're pay sites. I think you pay $3 a night. I don't know how you pay it. If you some of the old forest campsites, they had a pay box where you just wrote what campsite you're in, put the money in the envelope and dropped it in a box, and they came and collect the money every so often. With digital age, I wonder if you do it online. But anyhow, had some nice looking campsites. I didn't stop spend the night there because that was the beginning of my trip, and I had a lot of other places to look. Right after the campground, there's Hale Lake. There's a parking area for that. And I didn't hike down to Hale Lake. I should have, but you could see the brim of it from the parking lot. And shortly after, about halfway down 57, I took a road called Acorn Road, took it to the north because I wanted to go on Forest Service Road 16. So I missed the last few miles of 57. Not too sure what's down there, but I'm going to go back and check it out. But between 57 and Acorn Road, I counted 9 possible campsites. But none of them had a fire ring, so I don't know if you consider those campsites. Right before Acorn Road, there was an offshoot. It was 57B that had 2 campsites, and it had a fun little muddy play hill that I imagine if you're camping near there, you're going to get a bunch of rednecks driving up the hill in the middle of the night. All right, so after I went down Forest Road 57 and Acorn Road, which I couldn't find the Forest Service Road number for it, I hit Forest Service Road 16, Dry Creek Road, which is 7 miles long and smooth gravel because all these roads were just graded. They went through one by one up there and smoothed them out, so they're not very technical. So on Forest Service Road 16, I found 3 small campsites, or places that can be used as campsites. Again, I didn't really see a fire ring. Forest Road 16 has access to a dirt bike trail 337. And Forest Dry Creek Road comes out on 601 East Branch Road. Again, nothing to write home on 16. So then after I left 16, I went down the road to see if Forest Service Road 84 was open. We were planning a trip the next week up to 84, and I just drove up there a few days before to see if it was open, and it wasn't. But Forest Service Road 643, Barton Gap Road, which I attempted to go down twice and was closed each time, it was open. 643 Barton Gap Road was 12 miles long, had 3 nice campsites on it. And I ended up spending the night on 643 Barton Gap Road. And I went down the road all the ways to the end, logged down 3 campsites, saw a really, really nice one. It was the first one I came to. Turned around to go back to get it, and in the hour and a half it took me to get to the end of the trail, somebody pulled in and took that campsite. I only passed 3 people the whole day, and one of them took the campsite that I wanted. But I ended up with a nice campsite, another campsite, and it was good. Spent the night, had a great time. Got up in the morning, decided, hey, on my way out, I'm going to go past White Top Mountain. It was closed the last time I was there. So I said, I'm going to pass by it, see if it's open. And it was open, and I went up it. That's going to have to be a podcast for another day because that was a fun road. If you've never been up White Top Mountain, that is the highest public road in the state of Virginia and the second highest peak in Virginia. The highest peak in Virginia is Mount Rogers, which is the next mountain range next to White Top Mountain. You could see it from White Top Mountain, but there's no road to drive up to the peak. You have to walk a couple of miles, and I am not into walking. All right, so I think we're about at the 10-minute mark. Maybe next week I'll talk more about White Top Mountain if I didn't talk about it on the last podcast. But maybe I'll go into more detail about White Top Mountain because I am going to return to White Top Mountain, and I am going to spend the night up there because the views you see up there are awesome. It was windy when I was there, so I imagine you want to go on a calm day so you don't get the wind. But is there no such thing as no wind on top of a mountain? But anyhow, I rambled on long enough. Until next time, this is Nikki G saying, wheel what you got and be happy.